Hi, I'm Dave Hilgendorf, and welcome back to Wednesday Work Advice. This is episode number 5. Today I'm going to talk about the power of humility at your work. And this is one of those issues that just hit me this last week because I heard it from several different sources, and it's just felt like it was something I needed to talk about. There were some young men that spoke at our church who came out of a drug addiction program, and every one of them just spoke with such freedom. And one of the sources of their freedom I could tell was just this huge humility that they felt, that they realized that if it weren't for God, they would still be in a mess. And so they weren't taking credit for where they were at. They were pointing it all to God. There's several other sources. A recent reading about the Israelites going through Egypt and how they did not humble themselves. But God exalted Moses and referred to Moses as being so humble. And I know from my own life that both when I had a really low point in my life, as well as just any time, any day that I am proud, that I focus on myself or give myself too much credit, I'm missing it. And I think there's so many passages from the Bible about humility. Here's just a handful of them. James 4:10 says, "Humble yourselves in the sight of the Lord, and He will lift you up." 1 Peter 5:5 and 6 says, "All of you be submissive to one another and be clothed with humility. For God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Therefore humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that He may exalt you in due time, casting all your care upon Him, for He cares for you." And then Proverbs says, "These 6 things the Lord hates, yes, 7 are an abomination to Him." Don't you want to know what God hates and be aware of that and avoid that? Well, the number 1 on the list is a proud look. So I believe this is a really big deal, this issue of humility. I've heard several definitions of humility for the Christian. One of them is that humility is not thinking little of yourself, but rather it's thinking of yourself the way God thinks of you, which isn't bad, it's great, but it's through God's eyes, not your eyes. Another definition I heard is that humility is not thinking of yourself at all, but focusing on God and through everything you do. And so that's just a reminder for me that this is true for your family life, how you interact with your wife and kids, but it's also very true at work. I mean, it can be tempting for all of us to take too much credit for our accomplishments at work, or even for the fact that we have a job or have made certain achievements in our career. And we should always point back to God as our source in everything. And if we do that, we're on the right track. That one little thing can make such a difference in our work and in our lives. Thank you. We'll see you next time.